Hi everyone, so today we will be making a layered cake, and first off you'll need your sculpty glaze, your rolling pin, probably a razor blade, you'll need white clay, pink clay, excuse my guinea pig, your orange cane, and some tan clay. I just used scraps from my other video so I didn't waste the clay. And you'll probably need sandpaper, and depending on the design you'll probably need a toothpick. So first off, you take your clay that I've already mixed, and this clay for the topping, like the fondant or whatever you want to use. And so first you just roll this out and kind of flatten it. Next, you take your razor blade and you cut it in half. I guess this is considered a marble cake because my clay did not want to mix all the way today, so I guess I'll be doing marble cake. And I actually haven't tried this before. I'm just experimenting as I go along. I thought I might share it with you. So here's your two cakes. You might want to like restack them together and kind of morph them so that they're even, because layer cakes are even. Okay, so that's what it'll probably look like. So separate these once they're formed together, if you can separate it. There you go. And you have your top layer, which is probably the thin one, and your thick layer, which is probably the bottom one. I suggest doing it like this so that you can have a big cake and lots of slices. So next, you're going to want to do your filling. So set this aside and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so take some burnt umber and grab a note card. Here, back. Grab a note card and just take the burnt sienna and pour it on. You can add glaze if you want, but I've just learned after a couple times not to use glaze because it just wastes it and doesn't make your acrylic dry any faster. And I suggest acrylic because, once again, I think there's polymer in it and it's safe to bake. Because I bake with it all the time. Not real, of course, but just polymer food. I'm going to grab a paintbrush really quick because this isn't working out for me with the toothpick. And just paint it on the bottom layer, not the top. Oops, can't even see it. I always do that. I don't suggest putting it on the edges, just in the middle of the cake, so that when you squeeze it together it doesn't really make a mess and you won't have to wait for the outside to dry. So once that's done, take your cane, your orange cane, which I've made already. I'll probably make a tutorial on that, but just take it and cut it into slices. I'm not sure how many slices yet, but just cut it into slices. And I'll probably end up doing 2 parts to this video because I have to wait for my cake to dry before I can show you the rest of it. So just keep cutting it. And you might want to have them thick, not thin, so that they can kind of add volume to your cake and it'll be nice and thick, because I don't like thin cake. It's not really fun. So here's your cake, and just put them on the edges. And I'm probably putting these on the edges because I don't want the paint to overflow out. But no matter how hard I try, it'll probably end up flowing out, and it won't agree with me. So just put them on the edges of your cake in like a circle or whatever you want to do. But I suggest the circle. Okay. And I might need one more. It's kind of thick right there. My canes don't always come out the best. I've made this like a year ago. All my fruits are like when I first started making polymer clay designs. And so, now that I think this kind of is looking a little boring, I suggest we probably might fill the middle with some cream. Because who doesn't like cake filled with lots of cream? So, once again, this is just zinc titanium white. And just fill it in. And just go ahead and rub it around. And there you go. Kind of wipe off your paintbrush and you can, doesn't really matter, it's just the cream. And there goes an orange off the edge because I pushed it off. So next, take your top part, the thin part, and kind of roll it around just to clean up the edges. Kind of take your rolling pin and just roll it, make it even on top. And there you go. Nice and thin. And just stick it on there. And of course, push in the oranges so that they don't overlap when you add the fondant. And so you should have this burger looking thing. Right. Just make sure the oranges are all in there. And it might take a couple, maybe like 1.5 hours to dry. So I will be making the second part after I take this class and this dries. See you later.